One. Welcome to another episode of the History of the Bay podcast, sponsored by the good people of Amoeba Music San Francisco, sponsored by the good people of Dying Breed San Francisco as well for all your graffiti supplies. Behind the lens, we got King Ced. On the board, we got DEO. And today, we got another special guest, a San Francisco graffiti legend, the one and only Twick, ICP crew in the building.
Bless, brother. Thank you. Thank you, my guy.
Come on, man.
For, having me on here.
Of course.
It's an honor to be here in your presence.
Likewise.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you coming through.
And Dying Breed as well.
That's right.
What I'm saying? For putting this shit together.
That's right. Thank you, man. For those who don't know, this man's artwork has been all over San Francisco and the Bay Area and beyond for years and years. He's influenced many people with his style, stayed in the game, representing the ICP crews, the legendary San Francisco graffiti crew. So we really gonna get into some ill Frisco Bay Area graffiti history today with my mans. And let's take him back to the beginning, Twick.
Oh, man.
Tell the people, before we even get into graffiti, where did you grow up and what was that like?
So I grew up in the Mission, 18th between Guerrero and Valencia. Then we moved over to 23rd and Dolores. So I grew up in the neighborhood of the Mission. So, that's what I remember, the Mission. So growing up in the Mission, I started in 1983 out here doing tagging and doing the graffiti thing.
A lot of 80s writers said they were influenced by like Cholo graffiti.
That was definitely what was in the air at that time. That was the first lettering and tagging that I seen growing up in the Mission was a Chicano style Cholo lettering. They had their own style and font, and I always try to like implement and try to try to write like that. Try to write like that style, and
yeah, and
dress like them too as well.
I believe it. You had your Ben Davis sagging a little bit. Some Cortezes on.
With the Moinos, Kmart,
Okay.
The Benz,
That's right.
It's just the lifestyle. Back then the Mission, early 80s, the Mission was so cracking. Mm-hmm. Incredible. Like Sunday nights, they had the lowriders cruising. All the movie theaters that are closed now were open and going on. So it was a cool lifestyle,
Yes, sir. And you've done a lot of murals too. Then the Mission is known for, I believe, at one point or another, it had more murals than any other neighborhood in the country. Was that something you also saw growing up as well? Yes,
most definitely. That's the influence that I got. Was from that neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of art.
Yeah.
Seeing the art on 24th, the Bar Street, I forget the name of the artist. But, just had a lot of art, cultural.
I believe that's a Precita Eyes production, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. There was people carrying the bar train. Mike Rios.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
My boy Cecil.
Yeah, shout out to you, Cecil, in the house, too.
Boy Cecil.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Okay, and then so you mentioned 83.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like that's a number, that's a year that I've heard a lot of people recall.
So
I believe Cuba was getting out around that time.
Cuba was one of the first people that I seen doing pieces out here. So the first pieces was Mission High School, has a Cuba, Ham 2, Chaos. And then I eventually in 85, I hit the wall too as well. Cuba, R.I.P., big legendary graph artist, and so legendary. He wouldn't stop. That was his thing. That was his whole life, putting up his name to the day that he died.
Facts. Rest in peace, Cuba.
R.I.P.
I'm glad I got to interact with him while he was around. And if I'm not mistaken, that's credited as being like the first true, authentic piece in San Francisco. Is that correct?
That checks out.
Wow.
Yeah, that checks out for sure.
Amazing.
Yes.
So 83, is this also pre-Star Wars?
Yes, pre-Star Wars, all the Cholo, all that,
So what was your introduction into picking up the marker, picking up the can?
So half a block away, we had the Jamestown Community Center on 23rd and Fair Oaks. There was they had summer programs, kids would go there for summer and go to trips on, whatever. and then they had an auditorium, and then breakdancing people would come there and start breakdancing, and they would have a dope little breakdancing battles there, and people from the Mission, you know, Renegade Rockers, people from breakdancers would just come in there and conjugate. And that's where I seen pictures of some graph that my boy Adam Dawes, he would go to New York for the summer, and he came back and showed me some pictures. And then right after that, I think Star Wars popped out around that same time.
Sick.
Mm-hmm. And just right, I was, you know, with breakdancing, I was trying to do a breakdancing thing, but right when I saw the pictures of Graph, I fell in love at it. I was like, wow, what the fuck are these motherfuckers doing out there? You know what I'm saying?
It's a trip. Like a lot of, we had Crayon on here too. He mentioned 83 was the year he started, and breaking was also his entry into hip hop. And it's interesting, right? Like there's a narrative, right, that like hip hop culture, breakdancing, graffiti, rapping, DJing. But as I understand it, that actually kind of came a little later.
Yes.
And it got marketed that way. But in Star Wars, those scenes just happened to be going on at the same time, but they weren't necessarily coexist. It was like an organic thing that kids were doing, sure. Dancing in the street, block parties, hitting letters, getting on the mic.
Mm-hmm. And so the original history for like the first, you know, graph writer was Riff. Mm-hmm. Riff from Daly City.
Mm-hmm. Was he originally from the East Coast?
He was from the East Coast somewhere. Okay. Yeah, he was like an Indian-looking guy. Always wearing an army jacket, dark-skinned.
Sounds like a lot of writers. I
cool. 23 style, you know.
And you know, and from Daly City, so he had in contact with, you know, Doug, Bizarro, Rise, TMF. You know, back then it was RWs, and their crew was just. It was so dope because my parents would go to ceremony or town friend, and I tell them, let's go to Mission Way, the long way to get there. And then when I get to Daly City, you know, you could see them, you know, while you're driving down the street, little abandoned little sections of just graph. It was, you know, RW's Doug. And
so he's like, oh, okay, I got this little Daly City thing going on down here.
These dudes are dope.
Mm-hmm.
These dudes.
It's a trip that so many of y'all from across the Bay, Oakland, Frisco, Daly City, San Jose, just kind of all clicked around 83, 84 and just was like, yeah, I'm getting in this. I'm finna start writing.
Yeah.
All separately, but just kind of part of the same movement.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trip. So did you always write Twick?
Yeah, well, Easy Freeze on my breakdancing thing, and then my boy Antac 67, who was from LA.
Easy Freeze is a sick name too.
Easy Freeze. So now, my boy Anti, he was in 67. He was from Pasadena, LA, and he moved over here, and he was also in Jamestown, and I met him there, and he mentored me. He was already into strutting and fucking breakdancing. He had sketches and shit, and so he mentored me and tagging. He gave me the name, the Wicked Inner City Kid.
That's what it stood for from the jump.
From the jump.
The Wicked Inner City Kid.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's dope. Something that original nobody had, and I stuck with it.
Did you ever do a piece that spelled all that out?
Not yet.
Yeah, you gotta do that, bro. That's kind of sick.
Inner city knowledge, you know, you gotta have knowledge and stuff too, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta know.
Yeah, for sure. So
know where you came from.
And you went to McAteer?
I went to McAteer School of the Arts.
With another Frisco legendary, probably several, but at least one that I know of, the legendary Spy.
Like, yeah, me and Spy had 6th and 7th period together at McAteer, so we hung out. Uh-huh. And he used to spell his name S-P-Y, and I was like, bro, do the I-E.
Yeah, I've seen, you know, his.
It's from that day he got that. He wrote it with the IE.
His photo archive is crazy. So I believe I've seen that original. He did the first piece at McAteer, SPY, and then later you hit the same wall.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I went over his piece. Yeah.
Oh, okay. On some funk shit or just on some, hey, man, sorry, bro.
It was like a Saturday, you know, late night, and that was the only spot that I think I could have got away with.
You get in where you fit in.
And you know, and I stepped on Spy's toes that day.
Yeah,
you know, so my bad, Spy. You know, I apologize many times, and here's another apology, bro. Love you, bro.
Yeah, my G.
And, yeah, so So Anti taught me the ropes, man. He taught me how to rack, all the shit. Take me out doing fills. We'd do Mission High School. We go back there, the J Church behind Dolores Park.
Mm-hmm. That little
Dolores Park, there'd be like little
alleyway.
walls,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'd hit those. We'd go up to McIntyre. And then I got into like OP, Overpowered. That was my first cruise. And then I got in OTC. To Crush with
Ink?
Ink One.
Shout out my guy Ink, man.
Nelly was the ultimate B-boy right there. So I rocked with OTC. We did pieces up there at McIntyre. And later on, got into ROT. I came up with ROT, me and Shock One.
Shout out Shock, man.
And then those are the fun days. Those are like my high school days up at McIntyre with Shock and shit and Spy. And this is just a whole bunch of riders over there. It was pretty dope.
At what point do you remember, excuse me, at what point do you remember the bus hopping coming into the scene?
From the gate, I think.
From the gate,
From the gate. Because that's all we had. We may make New York, but instead of doing pieces on buses or trains, which I think we should have done, I wish I did. We just tagged.
You're talking about the early days, because people did eventually hit yards and shit like that.
Eventually, yeah, but in the early days, there's some pieces. Crayon, I think, might have did a piece on there. A couple quests, I don't know. There's a couple pieces out there, but we were mostly just tagging. Mini wide, ultra wide.
Yeah.
SG7s, pilots,
It's a trip, man. That I did a post about this once, about how just bus hopping is a tradition in Frisco. There's a lot of cats who they only wrote for like a summer, from summer school, and they just grow up hitting buses. It's been going on 30 years. Yeah, the bus flow, the one flow.
Yeah, the one flow.
That's like a signature Frisco hand style.
Oh yeah, I had some one flow styles back then too.
Yeah.
It's just kind
of got to. You got to pull that out every now and then.
Frisco one flow.
Yeah,
I started that shit.
Did you really?
I think so.
Is that okay? Shit,
in my mind, I had the one flow Twick,
the Arabic Twick.
Yeah, I've seen flicks. So yeah,
early.
Mm-hmm.
And
then you mentioned,
and so like you said, we conjugated after school. Riders would conjugate at 24th and Mission, Silver, Forest Hill. After schools, we just, a bunch of riders just looking at all the buses going by and see who's up, catch a bus or two,
Forest Hill, man. Forest Hill is like in one of the nicest neighborhoods of San Francisco.
It's more expensive.
The outer what do they call it? The inner sunset or the inner sunset. You wouldn't think that shit would go down there, but shit has gone down at Forest Hill.
Ditto.
There's that little the secret floor from the elevator. That's real Frisco shit. There's a secret elevator floor at Forest Hill Station.
There's tunnels and shit.
Yeah.
Secret tunnels.
All up and down that stuff.
I've been in them tunnels, man.
Yeah, man.
Finding them tunnels and shit late night when you open up a little door and you go down the stairs and you're in the fucking Muni tunnels and shit.
Yeah, how long do you remember the tunnels getting crushed around the same time, like that
Fury
early?
Fury,
DeBose tunnel.
DeBose, Fury.
Yeah.
Shout out to Fury, man. Ain't gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're doing history. So Fury 1 was the first person to hit the Muni tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
The Fury pieces.
Sick, bro.
Yeah, and then
What are some of the other spots?
In 2000, I was just fiending to just always go in there and just do pieces in the tunnels, man. It was just...
It's a good one.
Living there,
They fucking buffed it, bro. They buffed that shit right when my senior year of high school, man. That I just remember getting on the train one day and being like, just fucking nothing but gray, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that time.
And then we had the Muni tunnels underneath by Safeway, you go underneath the Safeway.
Yeah, Church Street
Market.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now they got sensors all through there and all types of shit.
Those early days, man, there was no sensors. There was just
just go down there. You can go down there and have a party.
That was the difference, back then. It was like no graffiti squad or early years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like a lot of shit was like if you get caught it's like, all right, just give me your shit or just get the fuck out of here or...
Here's a story, right? Scoop. We were out there hitting some yards of maybe patrol or something, and the Burns came out, tried to corner us and shit, and he was like, bro, I'm gonna just give you this $100, bro. Just turn around and just fucking forget it. We saw it, we out.
Scoop did that?
Scoop gave him the hundo. Scoop gave him the hundo.
That's definitely a school move.
Walked the other way. We was out. School ICP, man.
But you never like heard of like the like cases, crazy felonies and jail time, and that shit wasn't really happening in the 80s for writers, right?
No. No, hell no.
Yeah.
No.
What were some of the other spots like? Because you really go back to the beginning, man, the 80s. I was born in the 80s, so I wasn't there. I just know, just talking to folks like yourself, what are some of like the legendary spots, like Silver Terrace?
Legendary spots. We had Coors Factory, which was right around here in this area. We had, Crocker Park, Franklin Auto, Psycho City. Shout out to Dregs One.
Yes.
Just cutty spots here and there. The waterfront.
But when you're like pulling up, painting a piece at Crocker, it was a situation where like people didn't call the cops or they just let you rock or what?
Yeah, it was just the place where you go and rock.
Yeah,
it was crushed. TCA, Tough City Artists, Eazy-E. Used to write, I think, Taz or something. I'm not sure.
Do you remember a point?
Mind Motion.
Oh, yeah, shout out to Mind Motion, another guest on the podcast.
I think he wrote Taz. I'm not too, maybe, yeah.
He mentioned that's where he got his start, is doing graffiti and dancing.
That was a crew that was from like the Excelsior.
Tight.
So yeah, then we had spots like that. And all legit spots.
Yeah.
Where, Psycho City was the weirdest, but...
We'll get to that. I want to also ask...
one of the first persons that hit Psycho City, Bizarro has the piece. He won't give it up. Come on, Bizarro. Let me see it at least.
The flick?
There's a piece of my... did a piece, and there's no graph at all in the vicinity of Psycho. My piece was in. Yeah.
So wait, actually, yeah, let's talk about Psycho then. So when Doug hit it, that wasn't the first piece. Actually, I believe Cuba did the first piece there.
The first person to hit Doug was Riff.
To hit Psycho City was Riff.
Yeah, it was Riff. He had a Viva Graffiti piece.
Oh, shit.
In the very back wall.
So it wasn't Cuba?
I want to say Riff.
Wow.
And then Cuba hit it out.
And then Cuba.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a product. It wasn't really like graph style, but it was like a Viva Graffiti.
Viva Graffiti.
Yeah. I don't have any pictures of that, but I have a lot of archives of early graph.
What year was that, would you say?
82-ish.
Psycho City was around that long?
83, yeah, 83-ish. Wow. I want to say 82-ish, maybe 83-ish.
But it took a little while for that to develop into what it was, right? Like this mecca of people from all over coming to paint there.
Yeah, for sure. It was just like the local heads. And then all of a sudden, it just got out of control.
Did you ever meet like any writers from out of town or other cats pulling up there?
Man, yeah. They would pull up. Everyone would just pull up. It was like you would do a piece one day, the next day somebody would do over your shit. Would go over your that type shit where it was just got like out of control. Like make sure you took a picture of your piece when you did it at Psycho City.
Yeah.
Because it'll be gone either the next weekend or the next day.
Yeah, and bro.
And shout out to Heist Gigs.
Gigs, yeah. Shout out to Heist.
We battled for this spot for fucking years. Like, I had to come over and do my Twick piece, and the next day he'd put a Heist piece over my shit, and then I had to come back and do a Twick piece.
For years, that went on.
For years, and I'm like, camp, looking for this motherfucker. Where the fuck is Heist? He's going to come tonight and do a Heist piece. And we ended up being in the same crew, man, FSC.
Shout out to the FSC crew.
Seeking culture.
That just reminded me, too, there was a point in the 2000s where y'all tried to bring Psycho back and did a production there.
Yes.
I remember seeing that.
Yes, we did the hide.
Yeah, he had it was a sick-ass pit bull on there.
Ass pit bull. The dude holding back the big ass pit bull. I got to do a Twick piece right next to it.
I was in high school like, oh, shit, oh, Psycho City.
And the buff guy came over, the dreadlock dude came and fucking shut us down. Yeah.
Talking about Nino?
Maybe some dreadlock in a van, and he pulled up on Nino. I don't know his name. But
Yeah. No, that's Nino, bro. I was in the program with Nino, so I used to have to.
I'm like, damn, let us do this production here, bro. And we ain't fucking with nobody. We're just gonna make this beautify this place again. He fucking hated on us, man.
He was
years, he buffed me for years.
Yeah, it's a trip. Like the times I've been caught as a juvenile, and as an adult, like the people on the other side of graffiti, the motherfuckers, the cops, or the people that have to clean it up, like they're part of the world too. Like they get personal. Like I'm gonna buff this dude. I want to get him. I've been seeing him up lately.
They take it personal.
Yeah, with the
whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they take it personal. You've seen these like documentaries on these buff people that they really fucking go out there daily, fucking taking it personal and spending money out of their pocket.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's what people do. I'm gonna wake up this morning and go buff the fucking graffiti.
Nino was cool when I was in the program, as cool as you would expect for, a guy who's making you buff shit as for the courts. But yeah, that's I wouldn't be surprised for the Psycho City one.
Yeah.
That call came in like, we got to shut this shit down. We can't have this come back.
Shout out to Cream, because I always would see Cream with him.
I was in there with Cream. Yeah, I was in the program with Cream. I was in the program with Orphan.
Cream was so up everywhere.
Well, shout out to my boy Cream, man, but he was the first writer to be sued by the city in civil court. Yeah.
Damn.
They gave that boy like 10,000 hours of community service, man. Community service master's program, man. He got his master's in community service, man.
A year away from completing his dissertation.
I got a master's in buffing, man. Yeah, that was a trip, bro. I remember we had to go.
People that are biting my style.
They made us go like clean out homeless encampments and shit like that, and it's crazy. Sometimes they'll be like, "All right, you're not buffing today. We need you to go with DPW and clean up shopping carts in the Tenderloin." And it was a trip. I got some stories about community service.
That must suck, though.
It sucks, but
degrade me.
No.
I prefer that to jail and shit, like big ass fines. So I was like, fuck it. Let me just knock this shit out. Project 20, man.
Shout out Project 20.
But yeah, man.
True that, though.
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about some of your crews, and
City Funk.
I was gonna say, at what point did
Champions?
What point did ICP come into the picture?
ICP is like 87-ish.
Okay.
87. Just Finesse, Il Charo. He's the founder.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he had like Quiz, Scoo, J-Rock. I think then Chief joined in. UFO, Butter,
Young Chief.
What?
We had
How did you get down with them?
So I went to school with Just Finesse.
Okay.
Just Finesse. He was an ill-ass breakdancer, and he would breakdance and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was in BVD, and I was in ROT, and we were rivals. So we was a rival crew.
Was BVD or ROT battle?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the illest battles in fucking Bay Area history, as far as metros and buses, and every fucking panel was crushed. Both crews, Fate, Geos, Darks,
Nice.
KR.
Not New York KR, the Frisco KR.
Razor, the original Razor, man. I'm bringing out some OG shit right here, King Razor. And they would crush it, them too. They would crush, panels and shit. Just crazy times.
Yeah. But through Charo, you ended up getting it.
So Charo, I ended up joining ICP. I thought it was just fucking dope. He was dope.
Would you?
Scoo and Quiz, actually Quiz too. My boy Quiz was like, when I met Scoo, I met him through Quiz.
Okay.
And it was like, this is my little brother, kind of, take care of him, mentor him. And
yeah.
And then, I told him I'd teach him just, get some paint. And fucking one day, early morning, ding dong, maybe 7:30 on a Saturday, ringing my doorbell. Yeah.
Yeah, talk about that too, actually. What was your mission for getting paint back in those days? Hey, brother, you gotta keep the volume down just a little bit, son.
So, say that again?
What was your method for racking paint?
Oh, shit.
Back in those days.
Just go in there and rack their paint, just wear their baggy hoodie and just stuff him.
Stuff and run.
Nah, just be ill. Just be. So I had this like dope ass fila vest, and it was a dope ass vest. It was kind of like it wasn't a puffy vest, but it was like nice and big. But it's tight around the hip area, so it was nice. So I'd go in the stores and just.
And this is before
this motherfucker up.
Before everything's getting locked up.
Before anything was getting locked up, early 80s, mid 80s, and just load up the fila vest and that, man, I must have stole like over $100,000 shit. Racking on that vest. That was my racking vest, bro.
Yeah, sick.
I wish I had that bad boy still.
Hell yeah.
OG fila vest. It was a red one. It was pretty dope.
Sick. A lot of people, the 90s is like kind of marked like a change a little bit in styles. Actually, matter of fact, before we even get into the 90s, let me ask you about one more cat. Mike Dream. What was when did you first meet Dream?
Mid 80s. He'd come down to the meetings, Mission, Psycho City.
Oh yeah, so
he'd paint out there.
Yeah. And what was your impression of him?
He's just ill. Fuck. Yeah. Just super clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just clean.
What was he like as a person?
Just chill. He was very chill ass, cool, calm, collective, and I don't want to say cocky, but when you
confident.
Confident. That's the word, Pop. Thank you.
Gotta have that.
The Dregs One.
That's right. That's right.
Very confident.
Yeah.
And it's dope tags too, you know what I'm saying? Pretty dope.
Everything. I mean, I think that's probably my
letters in his tag flows.
I would say he's.
And so, sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
So with Dream, he knew what was up. He got it. He got that shit. He got it because he knew that graffiti was a weapon. It's a weapon because graffiti is uncensored. You know what I'm saying? When you first do it, you can write about anything, whatever the fuck you feel, the government, the president, whatever the fuck, someone who's whatever. He got it, and his messages were there in every piece that he created. There was always a message, revolutionary style motherfucker right there.
Well, you've incorporated some of that into your work too.
Yes. So that's influenced by him as well.
And what are some of your other inspirations towards that type of material?
I love that like I said, you could write about anything, you know what I'm saying, whatever you feel. And you look back in time in the pictures and you're like, oh, okay, that's who I was writing. You know what I mean? It's like, I remember this here, okay?
Yeah. There's a lot of cultural Latino symbolism in your work too.
Yes, culture for sure.
Yeah.
Shout out to Zor. He brought me up on that culture game, and just opening my eyes to like we could rep culture and shit, and like fuck, that's something that I'm definitely down for. To rep the culture with my art, let's do this. Sign me up. So then I started reading a lot about my culture, reading about Mayans, Aztecs, Pipis, all the peoples. I'm from El Salvador, born in El Salvador. My mom's Salvadorian. My dad's half Salvadorian, Brazilian, born in Sao Paulo. He moved to El Salvador and had me, so I came in the early 80s, probably 3 years old. I was actually 70, 73. I was 3 years old.
Is that during the big conflict there in El Salvador?
No, 70s. Okay. It started in the 80s.
Right.
The conflict was like in the 85s or whatever. Uh-huh. So, did everything here, preschool, kindergarten, from then on. Lived in Mission always. We lived on like Richland and Cortland in the really beginning when I first landed.
Yeah, some of your art, I mean, you got some walls that have been running for years. I think you got the 2012 piece with the calendar on 24th.
Yes.
The Virgin Mary in Lilac Alley. Been there a long time. And I really I think I ran into you real quick the day you were painting on 25th.
It was young and back then.
Yeah. I was like, what's up, Twick? Like, what's up, bud? What's up, Spy? Okay. I was, good shit, y'all. Like, oh, shit, I just seen these fools painting. Yeah, that with Eli, too, I believe he got down on there. That mural, man, on 25th, it's basically the whole story of colonialism and gentrification in San Francisco.
Yep. nuestra cultura, nuestro arte, nuestra tierra.
Yeah.
Our culture, our land.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Sick as fuck, man.
So that ran for hell of years. And what fucked that mural up was time. The sun, it started eroding the wall. So we had came with a new one, kind of uplifted that one.
Yeah, that's something. Go ahead.
So like culture, back to culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I think was very important. And so I started like repping culture.
No doubt. No doubt.
One of the first graph writers, along with Zor, to start repping culture.
I love that type.
Seems like everybody's doing it. Shout out to all the biters.
I mean, shit, ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. I'm motherfucker, this is my culture.
That's getting cocky out here. So no, you gotta rep. You gotta know where you came from in order to know where you're going. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
And be real. Be real to yourself. Keep it real. Self-love. You know what I mean?
All that.
All of that shit. Find whatever your passion is and just do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just work hard at what you're doing. Keep working hard, man. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that you're doing. Whatever dream that you have, man, make those dreams into reality and, fucking make a list of how it is that you're going to get to that motherfucking dream of yours and not keep, every day, fucking keep knocking shit out of the list until you fucking reach your goals. And after you reach your goals, I'm sure you got to maintain it. And there's another goals that you want to fucking get to, elevation.
Yeah, that's how it works. I mean, those are words from true artist people. This is whatever your craft is, whether it's with the can or with the microphone or a podcast or whatever you want to do, you got to stay in it to win it, man.
Mm-hmm. And so thankful in this moment because I was, work full-time union worker. I got laid off maybe like 3 months ago. I took that as a blessing. I'm like, shit, I'm going to start working on my shit that I want to do. I'm working on some stuff right now and that's what now's my time.
Yeah, I love that shit, man. I love when writers, anyone really, but especially writers, make a transition into making this shit into a career.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's the shit,
you
bro.
get paid for your shit.
Come on, man. You keep getting better, and you keep getting, your style improves, and
fuck, that's a dream, right?
Yeah,
getting paid for your shit
all day.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now. Working on my dreams.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
knocking them out the way.
Let's get into the grimy 90s.
The grimy 90s.
Grimy 90s.
I knew this was going to come. I knew he was going to ask me this. It's grimy 90s. Wow.
The 80s is kind of like...
We're going to have blessings.
The 80s is kind of... Oh, right on. We'll flex on these later on camera. But the 80s is kind of like this innocent, youthful... golden age. It's very Bay Area, very Frisco, multicultural.
One thing I forgot to mention was that elevated us in the style was the battles that we had. That was, TWS and TMF.
Yes.
And that's something that was really important that we need to touch on because that elevated styles from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And styles for miles, my guys. Everybody,
Were you seeing that go down just on the wall? And you were cool with both of them? Or were you more on like...
Yeah, I'm cool with both crews.
Okay.
I'm cool with Crayon.
So you just saw it from the outside like, oh shit, they going at it right now.
Yes. I got to be like, watching on the sidelines and shit,
Yeah.
And I think it started with Doug did a piece in downtown, with the character or something, and this homie came and did like gold in the...
Yeah, Crayon said on here that he just put bullet holes on Doug's piece. We were like, why'd you do that? He was like, I don't know. He said, I thought I was making it better. But you see some bullet holes on your shit, you're like, hold on, motherfucker. Like, what you trying to say? What?
Yeah. So those two crews were just full of, two different styles, which was the funk-based style, the Frisco, New York-based funk style, but it was Frisco. We took it to the next level, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Frisco funk, I call it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that shit.
Their style, New Wave, we called it. It was called bass dub New Wave, but they could paint. And Crayon could paint and do characters, and his style was dope. It was pretty dope to see,
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I think those two crews are still influential to this day.
And then back to the homie Dream, when he did Best of Both Worlds.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah. You know, he was like, "Fuck, I can do both styles, motherfucker." You know, I'm rocking both styles.
Yeah, Crayon talked about that on here too. Go back and look at the archives, episode number 7 or something like
this
that.
Is some real shit that I'm talking about because Crayon talks about it. You know,
no, I love it. I love that it's coming up again because it really is part of the history.
That's the history.
Yeah,
that's the history.
Yeah,
and then from then, woo.
So, okay, so now can we go into the Grammy 90s?
I'm trying to fucking... Okay, let's go back to the 90s.
Okay, so people have said that, like, the end of these spots that we're talking about, Franklin and fuck is that sound? Shit, good catch. Let's leave that in there.
This gets edited, by the way, yeah?
Nah, I want to leave that in there. That was kind of tight.
But you edit this
Yeah, if we need to. So, yeah, Psycho City shuts down. Graffiti goes into the streets. A lot more people from outside of the Bay move in. The 89 earthquake knocks a lot of shit down.
It creates all these pits.
Yes. Yeah. What are some of the changes you saw go as the 90s came in?
So, yeah, like you said, there's all these other areas to paint now. You know what I'm saying? And one of the dopest ones that I saw was Free South Africa.
By Doug?
By Doug.
Yeah.
And he did like some Warner Brother characters. Like
it was Marvin the Martian. That was the one in Spray Can Art. Yeah.
And that was on the corner of 16th and Valencia.
So that one is interesting because in the flick by Jim Prigoff, you can see someone else wrote No More Landlord Arson or something like that. So I always wondered, was that, because that's, you know, if you know Frisco, there's a lot of art. It's like little South Bronx out here, man. A lot of suspicious fires in certain areas where people are getting displaced.
That part.
So I was always wondering, is that site with the Free South Africa piece where a building was burned down?
Yes. Correct.
Damn.
What you just said. Yes. And so they created these pits.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So, and then, was that the part where the out-of-towners come?
Yeah, I mean, well, out-of-towners and then...
you know, San Francisco is a magnet for a lot of graffiti artists from out of
I was also going to mention, like, the art...
New York.
The Arts Institute, too.
We had,
yeah.
You know, KR from New York would come.
KR, Cycle, Giant.
Exactly.
So, Felon, Jace, Baltimore Cats. Yeah.
The freshest bomber was Twist.
I was just going to say, this is the era of Twist, right?
The freshest one was Twist back then. You know, and I met him in Psycho City, mid or about 90, or 80, excuse me, mid-80s.
Yeah, because he's from the area.
Yeah, and he was doing pieces. He had probably some pieces in Psycho City, too, as well.
And he was in TMF.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Best crew of the fucking city.
It's crazy.
Kings.
Yeah. Okay, but then with some out-of-towners from Southern California, eventually there's a little bit of tension in the graffiti scene. And what are your memories of that?
So they're dope, bro. MSK, WR, they're dope, brother.
Yeah.
They took spots. Crazy spots. When in the 23rd admission, where the Skechers is now, back then, Revoked had that motherfucker. Just...
There's a lot of spots, bro. Market Saber, big-ass roller on Market Street.
Yeah, for sure.
DuBose Tunnel rollers.
Everywhere, man. All of a sudden, Frisco was just their playground.
Fate, Norm.
Rest
in peace, Norm. Yeah. I mean,
Grimes,
yeah.
I was doing some dope shit.
I just remember, this is my teenage years too. Yeah, Reyes, LTS crew.
Buck 50.
Also, Buck 50, I believe, is from Seattle, right?
See, I don't know if he was a part of their MSAWR, but he was always, he was like, you know, with them.
Right. MQ was always around too.
Yeah.
Shout out to MQ.
They got some killers. Yeah.
This is my era of being a teenager, just being like, what? Seeing some of these
San Francisco
spots.
And they crushed the fuck out of it. They crushed it, you know. And in doing that, they had disrespectful for our shit. They went over our shit here and there, taking our spots. We're like, well, hold on, players. And it just happened, you know. It's a couple beef here and there, but, you know. Ask me a question.
Well, I saw the look on your face.
You want to ask
I saw the look on your face. You're like, hey, look.
Women started always saying more things.
No. We good. I mean, I've talked about this before online, and I've talked to some of the homies about it offline, and there's certain shit that don't need to be put out there, but there was definitely some back and forth, like on the walls and shit, right?
So we got a call one day that they're painting on 14th in Valencia or something, one liquor store. Got Bless. Was it Bless? Grammy. Norm was down there. Reyes was down there. A couple other, their crew was down there. So, we called up the crew and got hella people to fucking come down and got Butter because Butter had beef with Reyes. So we wanted to, settle the beef. Fucking let's go one-on-one. So that's how it went down. Reyes and Butter went one-on-one that day. And after that, man, we tight. We found that was tight crews.
Yeah, that's dope.
Book with Steels and them,
Yeah, of course.
Shout out to Steel, too, For sure. Pax.
I mean,
fly them packs with the man.
For me, that was like you talking about the TMF TWS battle. That was kind of sick for me seeing that go down too, just because the styles were so different. The MSK style and the ICP kind of style.
Bro, Doug just snapped, bro. Fuck, his style. He brought the flavors.
Yeah,
he do characters too.
Yeah,
and he'd write messages as well. Mm-hmm. And that TMF style was just clean. Yeah, clean fades. Clean. It was just seeing like a fresh ass clean piece from like New York, like one of the subway trains just right there in front of you. So crispy.
I agree. Yeah,
quality.
Yeah, that was man. That was a dope time to be growing up in the city and seeing all that. Well, that's cool. So that's good that that's all in the past, and there's that mutual respect. Speaking of ICP, the homie Scoo.
So the homie Scoo.
Yeah, the homie Scoo, Wash House Records.
Very.
Yeah, you've been around to with him doing the music thing too.
Oh yes, I've been around him for a long time. Yes.
Yeah. So
he signed Mac Dre, legendary Mac.
For those who don't know,
a lot of people that he signed.
Yeah. Shout out to Cityside Crew.
Cityside Crew. Mm-hmm. Put out some Cityside.
Vital.
Put out the game plan. Mm-hmm. Man.
Yeah.
He was fucking with all them cats in the music biz.
So you got to be around Mac Dre sometimes as well.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I got blessed to be around Mac Dre a couple times, maybe like 4 or 5 times up in the Wash House studio. Was staying over there.
Yeah.
And, knocking on the door, and Scooby's calling me at the same time, let Mac Dre in. So I fucking let Mac Dre in. He's in the entourage, and I'm like, damn. And asking for Kush. Can we get some Kush? I had a zip of Kush with me. Fuck it. He's my guy, and the Mac Dre. So recorded him a few times. Got blessed to see him. I wish I had, our cell phones back then didn't have cameras. We had them little Nokia fucking, no camera having little. We call them, but they had no camera, so.
Yeah.
For sure, it would have been selfie'd out with the Mac Dre. Hey, Mac Dre.
Well, when he passed too, y'all painted that sick ass mural.
Yeah.
On
Hyde went.
Yeah. Hyde did the portraits.
And Giggs did the letters.
Yeah. So, yeah, that
legendary
mural was definitely legendary. Dope ass flicks taken in front of that mural too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So after that MSK thing, we felt like we had to come together as a crew and just do some dope ass productions all over the city. So that was our goal. After that was just to come with our funk too, because we have Frisco funk flavor too.
Yeah, y'all had it locked down, man.
Coral too, dope ass artist. Coral, he did those characters on Hay Street, the Bob Marley, the Tupac. Mm-hmm. Hendrix and Garcia. Mm-hmm. We had some hitters in our crew. We were doing some dope productions, and so at that point we were just trying to just take over with some dope quality.
Yeah, you had it on lock.
That should be done,
and probably still do in terms of productions that's really running. There's that vertical one on I believe it's also 25th and Osage. Mm-hmm. I saw that getting painted too. Yeah,
yes,
that shit's crazy.
Who's out there with the lift?
The fucking 6 and with all
the defenestration building.
The defenestration building.
Yeah, That was our building right there on 6th and Howard. That was our production spot that we would just do.
Yeah, y'all just redo it.
We would just do it
again and again.
Like every 6 months or something, you know. Mm-hmm. And, you know, 25th and Mission, we did that, you know, a bunch of productions. That's all we wanted to do, was just some dope fucking productions, period.
Yeah, I think that really made an impact on the scene.
You know?
What are your thoughts, man, of the current state of graffiti in San Francisco?
Woo! Man, it's out of control right now, bro.
It's pretty crushed out there.
It's crushed.
Yeah.
Man, and Oakland, too.
Oakland is
my homie
insane.
over here in West Oakland, going through Oakland, like, damn! They're having their little field day out here.
Yeah.
Crushed. It almost looked like that building from Art Basel.
Yeah.
We have buildings like that. Like, that Art Basel building that's going on right now, man, that's Oakland.
Yeah, for real.
That's what they do in Oakland on a daily.
Yeah.
Buildings like that. They're crushing shit. You know?
Hell yeah, man. Shout out to everybody catching wreck out there right now.
Catching wreck.
Where do you see graffiti going into the future? In terms of the culture?
Well, that's a tough one. I don't want it to fade. I don't want the culture to fade with it, that's for sure. I want the culture to always be there, you know? I don't know. Just new people are gonna come, new styles are gonna evolve, you know, new flavors, new techniques, all that kind of shit that comes with it. Mm-hmm. New shit. Mm-hmm.
I agree.
You know, that's the evolution of graph. I eventually don't want to do graph all the time. You know, I'm doing my own thing right now, and just hopefully this kicks off. You know, putting my time and dedication to this project.
Yeah.
You know, top secret little project right now.
Dope.
You know, you'll get it when it drops.
We've had conversations. Should be dope. I think. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, there's so many kids, youngsters out there. I meet them all the time. 12 years old, 13 years old.
Doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. Because this evolves into like graphic designing for fucking cookies or whatever the fuck, you know, corporate money, doing commercials for Coca-Cola or whatever the hell. Yeah, this shit evolves, you know. So that's what I like about this game, you know, because it opens doors to hip-hop is money-based business, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's one thing I love about it, too. Is
We've been infiltrated by the corporate.
There's so many lanes you could take with this shit now. Like, even though I don't paint as much as I used to, like, graffiti is still a huge part of, like, everything I do. Whether it's music, podcasts, or even just my personality and the way I carry myself, the way I look at the world. And I just love that everybody can just do their own thing. Whatever style you want to do, you could do it. Like you were saying earlier, the freedom of expression. Mm-hmm. And doing this podcast and doing some of the content I do on social media, I'm excited to see where it goes with the internet too, because it's a trip to see now. There's a home for graffiti on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and it's actually making things pretty dope in terms of people being able to see all the different styles out there and everything.
Non-fungible tokens.
NFTs.
Yes, sir. I think that's a way of people are fucking selling artwork and getting paid big buku bucks for their art. So that's probably another. Put your art on some shit like that. You know?
I love it. There's still cats that's out there bombing all the time. Don't show their face. Don't do nothing. Yeah, and they got merch. They got art shows. They got there's so many ways you could take it, man.
So many ways, man. Well, limitless. So yeah, just for all the youngsters that are doing their thing, man. It opens up possibilities to hella shit, you know. And just keep the pushing.
Well, I think you're a great example of that, brother. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. It's been dope.
An honor talking to you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, all the years I've been seeing you around, and it's always been mutual respect. I don't think we ever painted, so we gotta get one in.
Can we go catch tags after?
We can no. for certain people watching, no.
Nah, we ain't doing that.
But on the real though, yeah, we gotta get some more in. Yeah, keep building.
Man, keep pushing this shit, bro. I admire this fucking thing. That's why I came on board. I'm like, ugh.
That's love.
This boy's doing his Doug Dizzolini here, man.
Every week, man. It's getting bigger. It's getting better. Shout out to all y'all for supporting us, man.
Yes. Thank you guys, man, for supporting this. Man,
the wicked inner city kid on the History of the Bay. Shout out to Cecil Rocks. Shout out to King Ced, shout out to D.O., shout out to all my people, shout out to all the writers worldwide. Twick One, ICP crew in the house, Frisco's in the building, man. History Debate Podcast, Dregs One. We out of here, y'all. See you soon. Peace.
Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay. Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay.